my actual eyesight. Is there the high drive? Deep center! Go! 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 We're out of here! We're out of here! Say ya, playa!
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood, Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A dog pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an excellent Tuesday night matchup here in the Colonial Conference as we are in the last week of the full state-sanctioned regular season right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We've got a packed week coming up, and we kick it off with Colonial Conference Patriot Division action between the Audubon Green Wave and the Gloucester Lions. Gloucester this year is 11-10. This is our fourth time we have covered Gloucester. They are 1-2 in DWB features, and Audubon, they've been on a bit of a skid lately. But guess what? They turned it around with a big 30-point win over CCTS in the first round of the Camden County tournament. Ryan Johnston scored his 1,000th career point in the first quarter of yesterday's game, and now for the second night in a row, they are going out and making sure to take care of Gloucester. But we'll see what they can get in 32 minutes. They're going to do the pregame intros here at the Gloucester High School gym. We will be keeping it here for the national anthem, and then we'll talk some more about the previews of these two teams coming up in just a couple of minutes. So you just heard it there from the public address announcer. Finn King back in the order for the Green Wave for the first time in a couple of weeks. He's been dealing with some sort of knee injury, and he was a do-not-play candidate a couple of nights this season, but Connor Chester was usually the starting player in his place, and now the junior King is back in the order. There's Keegan Cohen, Jake Smith, the rest of the starting order for the Lions. Ryan James, Caden Harris, and Mike Light as well, the senior. So we're going to get ready to go. Audubon and Gloucester in the Colonial Conference. Again, Audubon this year 13-7 as we wind down in the regular season. Gloucester 11-10. They are right now sitting pretty at third in the Colonial Patriot Division, right behind Woodbury. Audubon is at first, but a loss tonight could really shake up the Colonial standings. Audubon won versus Gloucester at home by single digits the last time they came around, and now they are going to be road warriors, seeing if they can take this one in the Lions' Den. 32 minutes to play in Colonial Conference basketball. Jake Smith and Ryan Johnston under the basketball here as the ball is tipped up and we are underway. Mike Light quickly takes the first possession and drops it back to the sophomore Keegan Cohen. Smith passing it beyond the arc to Mike Light. Up the middle to Smith. Got it. 2-0. I think that's kind of an example there where, you know, they were hot right off the jump from the tip. And sometimes you just don't have an answer for it on that first play. Sometimes it takes you a little while with the rhythm that you have. I mean, Mike Light really wasted no time bringing that ball to the basket and passing it beyond the arc. Johnston just short of the rim, looking for 1,017 points after reaching that 1K mark yesterday versus CCTS, and Keegan Cohen, the sophomore, drills the three ball, and it's 5-0 Lions, off to a hot start in the first minute. Goes to Caleb Eller, back to King. King had kind of a minutes restriction versus CCTS yesterday, but he was able to turn that around and is now back in the starting order. But we were talking to Brian O'Donnell, and one of the things that he said was that it looks like Connor Chester is going to be in the lineup from here on out in the starting five, but right now it seems like Finn King's condition has improved enough to where they have walked back that statement, and they're putting Finn King back in the starting five for the Green Wave. Ryan James has this one, the son of head coach Liam James. The adopted son is Keegan Cohen. High off the glass, no good. Caden Harris tried scooping that one up for the offensive board, but did not get it. Johnson cuts to the right, back to Eller. Into the corner for the corner three specialist, Liam Nixon, short from the top of the key. Jake Smith has this one. Mike Light charging hard up the floor. Step back three, no good, a little long. That'll be out of play, and it'll be Audubon ball. Got a busy week this week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Tomorrow is New Egypt and Delran. That'll be followed up on Thursday by the Haddon Heights Garnets and the Paulsboro Red Raiders and more Colonial action. We'll bring it down to Pittman for Tri-County action on Friday, 7 o'clock as Johnston, there's 1,017. The three ball cuts the lead to 5-3 as that pass goes awry, and it'll be a turnover. Overbrook visits Pittman on Friday the 9th, and then we'll have some women's basketball on Saturday, February 10th, between the Pittman Panthers and the Collingswood Panthers. In out-of-conference play, 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. Finn King will get a walk. But this is kind of similar to how Audubon played Gloucester the last time these two met in January. You know, look, Gloucester is a team that is reliant on being, you know, a strong bond from teammate to teammate. All of these guys are great friends with each other. They have great chemistry. And there's just some guys that are great team leaders, like Caden Harris, Mike Light, Kevin Wall, Keegan Cohen. They are all team leaders. Oh, and a hard screen. I didn't see his feet move, so I think that's a legal screen, but I've said before, I am not a basketball referee by any means, so I'm not going to be the one to criticize the officials for making a call right or wrong. Keegan Cohen finds a shot in the lane and makes it 7-3. Johnston goes to Nixon, back to Young, misses, Harris picks up the board. Mike Light turns around, guarded by Johnston. That'll be a violation on Gloucester as Marcus Flagg checks into the game for the Lions. Jake Smith checks out, and Caleb Eller is going to take this one in for the Green Wave with 4:36 to play in the first right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Can't believe it is 18 days until our first baseball broadcast on February 24th between Immaculata and Rutgers Camden. That's a doubleheader here. Oh, alley-oop! Oh my goodness, Finn King. We almost just had a Lob City moment right there. I saw Ryan Johnston cutting towards the basket, and that's a move I have practiced in NBA 2K hundreds of times, but very rarely do you get it to work. And Audubon's going to be in a rhythm right here. That's the first foul of the game, and it comes in against Marcus Flagg. If Johnston actually threw that one down, though, imagine if that was a home game for Audubon. This place would have gone nuts. Not this place in particular, but Audubon's home gym, the John Kling Gymnasium. Caleb Eller, the former Gloucester Catholic Ram, knows this area very well. Ryan Johnston on the floater, no good. Just hasn't really been hitting the shots that he wants in this first quarter. Cohen puts up a three, no good. Rebound by Young. Harris will steal it out of his hands for a second chance layup. That's just good basketball right there by Caden Harris. He recognizes the situation and he realizes that, look, he's going to make sure that he takes that ball away, and also is very smart to make sure he's not drawing a foul. Finn King gets a travel called against him, and he's not sure about that call. Audubon's gotten the short end of the stick so far with those walks, and they've had a couple of them called specifically against Finn King. Kevin Wall in the game. Goes back to Keegan Cohen. Heavy perimeter defense here from Audubon. They're making sure that nothing slips through, although they have let a couple slip through as that three ball goes from Ryan James. Liam Nixon back to Caleb Eller. Finds his man in Johnston. That's a three! Drills it from outside, his second three ball of the day. He's responsible for 6 of Audubon's 8 points, and Ryan James brings it through, 14-8. Audubon just hasn't really had it in this first quarter so far. They're not making the passes that you want to make, and it's not even really a problem with their offense, as they haven't really been hitting the best shots, but it would be a lot better if their defense was just playing the way that they have been all year. They're not 13-7 without a good defense from Azon Young in the front court and from the forwards that they have in Johnston, the combo guard, and Liam Nixon. Marcus Flagg stops, and that's going to be a double dribble. That's the textbook definition of a double dribble right there. And, Gavin, Audubon is down by 6 right now, but what's to make of their offense so far? They just seem to be chucking up a lot of shots and not making them.
Well, it's centered around senior Ryan Johnson, who has his 1,020th point on that last three-point attempt. Liam Nixon, a known three-point shooter, puts up a shot there, doesn't go. It's looking to be a slow game. Coach Brian O'Donnell wants to get some plays going, as you can hear him very loudly. And
that wasn't even O'Donnell, that was Liam James.
Well, occasionally you can hear him. It's just looking to be a game slow-paced. Gloucester's going to want to push the pace, but Audubon wants to create their own, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that shot there from Caden Harris. I think that was just a lapse in the defense that caused that, and Mike Light and Jake Smith checking in, Harris and Flagg checking out. Connor Chester checking in for Audubon, so I guess Finn King is still on that minutes restriction for the Green Wave, as Gloucester did pick up their second foul on that last play. 16-8. Gloucester maintains a 8-point lead as Young in the baseline. Nice pass out to Nixon. 3. 16-11. Cherry picks it to Keegan Cohen, who lays it in. This has been a high-scoring first quarter, to say the least. These guys are really setting up for a high-scoring game, but Gloucester they're kind of a multifaceted team. Some nights they're going to run you out of the gym with a really fast-paced offense that prioritizes scoring on three-pointers and deep shots. And then there's other nights where they're only going to put up 45 points in a game and they're going to win. Sometimes it depends on what defense they're facing, but Liam James, it's like a chameleon of a team where some nights they play very different basketball, and it's not even the plays that they run, it's just the style and the pace. It's just the way that they play is very different from night to night, while Audubon can kind of be like a one-size-fits-all where the way that they play is good for almost every team that they play. Obviously, 7 times this year it didn't work. They're going to have time for a heave. Nope. But at the end of the first quarter, Gloucester leads 20-11. A high-scoring first quarter as we'll have 8 more minutes to play in the half. We'll be right back here on DWB. Gloucester up by 9. Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp. Gloucester leads by 9 going into the second quarter, and Ryan Johnston, he reached his 1,000th point in last night's game versus CCTS, and let's take a look for a quick moment at who he has joined in that club since 2000. Those are all the 1,000-point scorers in Audubon's history from 2000 to the present, as first up was Joe Wilings and a couple of female basketball players in there as well, but the important thing is that, that's going to be a jump ball. But most recently was Dylan Tassie in 2017 at 1456. TJ Tassie, his brother, had 1,700 in 2011, but Ryan Johnston joins a very elite group of hoopers as Mike Light for 3, no good, a little bit wide left. Caleb Eller cuts to the left, up, and good on the low hanger. Caleb Eller's known for that low arcing shot where he just kind of chucks it up there and it goes, but he's got a very smooth form, and that's what I like about Caleb Eller is that especially all of these guys on this team, they're pretty down to earth. They know what they're able to accomplish, but they don't do it through words. They do it through the way that they play. Gloucester leads by 9 after that layup by Keegan Cohen. Back to Eller for a 3-ball. Good! Eller gets his first triple of the night, and it's 22-16. Kevin Wall was looking for a pass. Chucks it up. Doesn't go. And Azon Young picks up the rebound. If Azon Young can stay in Audubon these next 2 years as Johnston knocks the triple, 22-19, Azon Young would easily be the next 1,000-point scorer for this Green Wave team. Caleb Eller joined here his sophomore year, but he didn't really have that same prowess that Johnston did. But I'll remind you that Johnston has only been varsity for 3 years. He did not put up any points his freshman year. He's scored almost 500 points this season alone. That's how essential of a scorer he's been, averaging almost 20 a night for the Green Wave. Eller knocks it down. The swing is almost complete. It's 24-22. Audubon has turned up the Jets tenfold in this second quarter. They started out really cold, and then they've given everybody a chance from 3. Keegan Cohen doesn't get it. Jake Smith got a hand on it, and now it will be Smith again, back to Ryan James. Mike Light's open to his left. Passes it to Light. Couple of guys getting ready to check in for both teams. light, one-hand pass doesn't go. So how about Audubon? Lights out from 3 in the second quarter.
Audubon's on a 13-2 run going into this quarter, 2 minutes and 44 seconds in. It's looked good from their lead guys, Caleb Eller and Ryan Johnston. They're putting up the shots and they're going in. The game plan adjustment is evident from the first quarter. They're relying more on their perimeter shooting instead of just essential play calling as Azon Young drives in into the post, backs out to, it's called a something.
I think it was called a walk there, but yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't looking good. Audubon was down by almost double digits. They were down by 9 going into the quarter, and Gloucester just didn't seem to be stopping. And now they've put a little pressure on them, and they've shown them that they can drill that outside shot. But guess what? Gloucester can also drill that outside shot. So it's kind of like it's a back and forth battle of anything you can do, I can do better. Johnston rolls it out. Crosses over, loses it. Eller hangs onto it. Young drives past Harris, and that's wide. I don't think he got a hand on it, but it'll go back to Smith. Marcus Flagg. Harris cuts from the paint, and he's got it. Again, Caden Harris, he's a junior for this Gloucester team, but he's just a bucket. He can play both sides of the ball really well. He's kind of like Johnston himself, where he's a combo guard. As Eller drills the 3, 1-point game. This is a nice start for Audubon. But yeah, Azon Young, he's a 6'1" sophomore. He, going into tonight, is already at 670 points. If he stays for his junior year, which they're okay. Gloucester's going to slow down the pace a little bit, but oh, here we go, Liam Nixon. Is he going to throw it down? He will not, but he lays it up. And Audubon takes that opportunity to call their first timeout of the night. We'll be right back. Audubon, for the first time in this game, takes a 27-26 lead. We're halfway through the halfway through the second quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Lions Den. It is 27-26, home of the River Rats. Mike Light has this one. Kicks it out to Harris. Marcus Flagg drives to the basket, and he's got it. 28-27. Gloucester retakes the lead after Audubon had a short moment in the spotlight, but that ends up getting erased pretty quickly. Johnston to Young from the free-throw line. He loses it. But as we were talking about, Young is at 670 points as a sophomore. As Johnston drills the 3, 30-28. He's already well past halfway there. So if Young ends up sticking around for his junior year, another name will be added to that banner in 2025. Marcus Flagg got it. Now we're tied. Liam Nixon, the corner 3 specialist, kicks it out to Johnston from deep 3. No. Harris picks up the board. Back to James. Oh my goodness, what a no-look pass. Didn't get it. Harris back to the basket. He's got it to give Gloucester the lead. If that three ball had went, I don't know what to tell you. A no-look pass almost behind the back. That's called crafty basketball. Young on the sidestep, didn't get it. Gloucester still retains a 2-point lead. Back to Mike Light from beyond the arc. Audubon's gotten a lot better on that perimeter defense, and not only is it prevented a lot of threes, but it's also prevented a lot of good shots from the top of the key too, as Jake Smith drills it. That's worth 2, 34-30 with a minute to play in the half. Audubon's going to have a lot to talk about. They've been hot at times. They've been cold at times. It really depends on what time you're talking about. Azon Young was looking away. He had the ball stolen and punched out of his hands. So that'll be a turnover and a steal for Caden Harris. They'll have just a smidge over 30 seconds to play in the half. Ryan James from the paint lays it off the glass, no good. Back to Smith, lays it in there. Gloucester has been really good from inside tonight. They have realized that chucking up the deepest of threes possible, Elijah Crispin style, is not the best strategy to do. They're going to see if they can get some points back on the board. Nice crossover by King, doesn't fool anybody. Into the paint, Eller. Young chucks it up, no. And man, a rough first half for Audubon as they trailed at the end of the first by 9, and even though they, for a very brief moment, took the lead in the second quarter, they enter the second half down by 6. We'll take a quick 10-minute break, and we'll be right back after this on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, 36-30 in favor of the home side Gloucester Lions at the half. Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
The Green Wave return, and they are down by 6 at the start of the second half. Gloucester has had a good game so far, and we are going to have a little bit of a change-up at the start of this third quarter. For the first 4 minutes, I'm going to be turning it over to my producer, Gavin Van Rel, to take the lead to start the second half. Caleb Eller will take it in for Audubon. Gavin, take it away.
We have a 36-30 game here in Gloucester City. Gloucester with the lead so far. They've been getting the ball in the paint and putting it up in a good succession rate. Eller to Johnston to kick off the third quarter. The second half is underway. Johnston drives to his right, passes out to Finn. Back to Eller, back to King. King to Azon Young in the corner, who drives, baseline, passes to Nixon. Over to Johnston up the middle, puts it up, and no good. Rebounded by number 12, Jake Smith. Mike Light pushing the pace up the court, puts it in. A 2-point layup. Gloucester leads 38-30. Nixon for 2. It's in. Liam Nixon. Go. Ryan James passes to someone who passes it to Mike Light. Back to James. Light drives, pulls back. Brings it back up. James fakes the shot, passes it away. Back to James for 3. No good. And knocked out of bounds by Audubon. It's Gloucester ball. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go, 38-32. Light inbounds to James. James slowing the pace here, staying on the outer perimeter. Passes it to number 10. Right back to him. Fakes the 3 to Harris. Back to Keegan Cohen. My apologies. Back to James. To Harris. Cuts to the wing. Passes out to Light. Back to Harris. No good. Rebounded by King. King passes to Eller. Drives up the middle. Eller to Johnston. Johnston to King. Johnston on the outside part of the wing. Passes to Nixon down low to King. To Young. To Eller in the corner. No good. Rebounded by Harris. James takes the ball up top. James to Light. Harris for 2, and it's good. Gloucester's on a run here to start the second half as Johnson takes the ball up. 40-32 Gloucester. Young on the wing, passes the opposite side to King. King takes it up out to Johnston, to Eller, drives baseline, out to Nixon. 2-pointer is good. Liam Nixon has all the scoring for Audubon in the second half as James takes the ball up for Gloucester. Out to Cohen, back to number 12, Jake Smith, back to Light. Ryan James with the ball on the wing, up the middle, out to Cohen, back up top, drives to the right wing, back to James, takes the shot, gives it to Cohen. Cohen for 3, no good. And Gloucester is out of bounds. Eller will inbound to Johnston. Audubon looks to put an end to Gloucester's run and come back to where they were earlier in the second quarter. Johnston brings the ball up for Audubon. On the right wing, down to Nixon, down to Young inside, and it's good for 2. Azon Young. Cohen on the wing, back to James. To Light, drives, pulls back, way out, caught by James, drives, and fouled by the freshman number 10, Connor Chester. It will be called in the act of shooting, and he will get 2 shots. James responsible for most of Gloucester's scoring tonight. He looks to add 2 more. First one is a 41-36 Gloucester. James gets it to go. Eller to Johnston on the inbound. Johnston slowly, nonchalantly takes the ball up, back to Eller. Eller out to Johnston for 3, and it's good. Ryan Johnston, a 3-pointer. James drives the ball up for Gloucester. Audubon has brought this game into a 3-point lead for Gloucester, being down as much as 8 points earlier in this quarter. Out to James. James fakes a shot way deep. Out to Light. Light steps back, puts it up. No good. Rebounded by Azon Young. It's a 1-on-2. Nixon gets it to go. Audubon has cut the lead to just 1 point here with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. James out to Light on the wing, who brings it back up top. Back to James on the wing. 3-ball. No good. Rebounded by Azon Young. Young on the wing, out to Nixon in the corner. Light is there to guard him very quickly. Johnston nonchalantly holds the ball up top. He surveys the defense. Passes out to Eller on the right wing. Eller drives, passes to Johnston for 3, and it's good! Audubon has come all the way back to take the lead. A timeout is called. It is 44-42. Audubon with the lead.
Well, that was an excellent exclamation point there by Johnston, and nice job, Mr. Van Rel, on getting the commentating job for a couple of minutes there. Did an excellent job. But right now, I mean, Audubon is on fire. They have had their hot streaks, they've had their cold streaks, but right now they are on a hot streak. And Audubon, for the second time today, has retaken the lead after being down by a sizable amount, and it's paid off big time. Timeout called. 2:38 remaining in the remaining in the third quarter. We'll keep it here, but let's talk about what's at stake in the division for Audubon and Gloucester in the Colonial Patriot. Remember, the way we organize divisions is by straight-up winning percentage, so Woodbury technically leads in divisional winning percentage, but the way that we have it, Audubon's 13-7. If they lose tonight, Woodbury will easily have full control of the 1 seed in the Colonial Patriot spot. But Gloucester, after an 18-10 campaign last year, only treading water 1 game above 500 in 2024, and then Lindenwold, Collingswood, and Gateway rounded out in spots 4 through 6 in this Patriot division. But both Woodbury and Audubon are pretty much locked for a first-round home game. And Audubon's tied with the 5 seed for Woodbury. So whether it's a 5 or a 6, they'll get somebody in their home gyms in the first round. The only matter is Gloucester, they are actually the 11 seed in South Jersey Group 2. So they'll probably still make the playoffs, but they'll be on the road for their first round. .238 to play in the first. Marcus Flagg brings it to Michael Light. Caden Harris. Back to Flagg. Back to James. And we're going to have a scramble and a jump ball. I remember one time there was a game that we were covering between West Deptford and Audubon. It was in the fall of 2022 for soccer, and I had lost my voice. I was under the weather, and I had my friend Matt Wagner call a good portion of the game. You might even remember more recently Audubon and West Deptford baseball in 2023, that 9-inning, 12-11 game. I didn't have my voice for most of the game. I went through 5 bottles of water during that 9-inning, 3-hour game that now has over 1,000 views on YouTube, by the way. Caden Harris in double traffic ends up leaving a lane open for Jake Smith. .90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Eller to Young. Young, he's been a board crasher this year. Hasn't really been too efficient from 3, but he drills that one from the top of the key. And it's 46-44 in favor of the visitors. It's going to be a foul on Gloucester. Audubon yesterday took a 69-37 win over CCTS in the preliminary round of the Camden County tournament as Nixon is short. Connor Chester brings it in. 48-44. Harris, no good, that's short. And Eller picks up the rebound. As we said, Azon Young going into tonight's game, 760 points across 2 years of play. He picks up the ball here with 20 seconds. Double traffic, Light tried to kick it out. Here goes Eller. He has room, didn't take a shot. This time gets a little closer. Young airballs on the second chance. They'll have 3 seconds. Half court. No. Audubon has, no pun intended, turned the tide. It's 48-44 after 3. We'll be right back after this. Start of the fourth quarter. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center, the place to be for all things that you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. The organic, natural products sold, including toys, toys, food, cages, accessories, and more. Visit today, 7 days a week, on 226 Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, or visit online anytime at exoticpetsnj.com. Audubon leads by 6 after an Azon Young layup in the lane as Marcus Flagg brings it to Cohen, back to Light, and back to Cohen. Mike Light. To Wall. Wall bobbled it in his hands, but hung on to it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kevin Wall is a team player. He's the kind of guy that doesn't care if he's not starting. He knows that he's playing for his team. Azon Young lays it up, but the shot is called off as there was a foul at half court. Liam James will call timeout, and so will we. 7:09 left in the fourth. Audubon leads by 6. Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on. Audubon leads by 6 after a Gloucester foul. It will now be Young to Eller on the inbound with just under 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Nixon gets it to Young. Young gets the ball forced out, and it's back to Harris for Gloucester. Gavin, Audubon's been turning it around ever since they were down by 9, very slowly turning it around ever since the end of the first quarter. What do you think's been that main factor that's given them the lead?
This is their biggest lead of the game so far, a 6-point lead, 50-44 Audubon, currently with 6 minutes 30 seconds to go left in the game. Ryan Johnson has led the team in scoring with his 3-point shooting today, adding on to that 1,000-point game just from yesterday. Already up to well over 1,025 points. And Caleb Eller has also put on some good mid-range shots, as well as Liam Nixon, who has handled the ball well in the mid-range area.
Yeah, I think the mid-game and in-game adjustments have made things a lot better for Audubon. Look, they were down by 9 at the end of the first quarter. They've turned things around very well. Look, they took the lead at one point in the second quarter, but then they relinquished it and gave it back up to trail by 6 at the end of the first half. So it's been back and forth. And this is the first time that Audubon has been solidly in control of the car. They have been driving for a little while, but they were a little bit erratic, if you will. And now they're kind of back in motion, and they're playing like their old selves. They're playing like the 11-4 team that they were back in January. Look, they had a little bit of a slide at the late part of that month, but now they've turned it around, and even in this game, they've turned it around somewhat. Caden Harris at the line for the Lions. First shot does not go. Second shot goes. And it's 45-50. Eller, he's got to be careful he doesn't get a 5-second violation there. That was close. Gets it to Johnston. Cuts to the left, back to Nixon, back to Young. He'll take a 3, and he's got it. I like that. Young doesn't take a lot of 3s, but when he does, he takes them well. Keegan Cohen, no good. But Azon Young, though, he is an excellent guy on both sides. And Brian O'Donnell's going to call a timeout. We'll keep it here. He's had several double-doubles this year. Going into this year, he actually had 14 double-doubles his freshman year. Then he added that on with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my God, I didn't realize how many he had. Out of the 20 games that he's played, 17 of them have had double-doubles, including a 26-18 versus Paulsboro back on January 12th. So Azon Young not only has 670 points, he also has 543 rebounds and 42 blocks to boot. Young is not the tallest guy on the floor, but he's probably the most versatile guy on the floor. Where, look, Ryan Johnston is a combo guard who has good defense and has good offense. And Azon Young is in very similar regards to that, where he also can play both ends of the floor. And that's what Audubon lacked in the years where they were only winning 5-6 games a year. They didn't have good defense. They had good scorers. look at Dylan Tassie. They had a couple 1,000-point scores in that 2016-17 era with Furlong and Tassie. And then it just kind of dropped off. You had good offense, but who was controlling the ball on the defense? The other team. Ryan Johnston knocks down the triple to make it 56-45, as Audubon surprisingly has jumped out to a 11-point lead, their by far biggest lead of the night, with 4:40 to play. Ryan James, no good on the three. Another rebound by Young. So they're going to slow down the pace a little bit. Foul, Gloucester. Don't forget, folks, our next broadcast will be tomorrow. New Egypt versus Delran in Burlington County play. Game time 6:30 p.m. on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I think they wanted a walk on Eller. Back to Johnston. Johnston drives through on the one-handed finger roll. That was very close. Now it's Harris. Picks it to right. Back to Harris. The dynamic duo can't hit. 4 minutes left. Back to Johnston. He rolls it to Young. And a finger roll. No good, but a foul. Young got knocked down there, and he's walking a little, he was walking a little gingerly. I think he actually might have hit something with his hand. But he will go to the line. It's crazy to think how few foul shots there have been tonight. I mean, it's 6:10. We've only been running for about 55 minutes rather. First foul shot goes. 57-45, 12-point game in favor of Audubon. Harris checking out. Smith checking back in. Second shot goes. Young silences that crowd with a 58-45 lead now. A little wide. Eller gets out of the trap, gets it to Nixon. Back to Young. Connor Chester, he had a shot in the corner, but he didn't take it, and a foul on Marcus Flagg. I don't know why Chester didn't take that three. There was nobody around him.
Well, in games past, Chester has been ostracized for taking some three-point shots, as we've heard. And, it's probably running through his head. He wants to help the team as there's a kick ball against Light.
Good one. Back to Eller. Young in the corner. Marcus Flagg has it. Through the 5-hole of Nixon. That will be Audubon ball. Connor Chester back out to Nixon. We've got a scramble at midcourt. Back to Cohen for three. Good! That cuts it to 10. It's not over yet, but Audubon is now going to try to change the pace, and they force a turnover. O'Donnell calls a timeout. He's going to talk it over with his guys. 10-point lead. I mean, that's a costly turnover right there. If you remember, I don't think you were here for this one. December 30th, it was GCIT in Gloucester. GCIT was down by double digits with less than 4 minutes in the game. And Gloucester turned the ball over, and it caused GCIT to go on a crazy run, and they won the game on a buzzer beater 3 by Mark Hallman. Well, Audubon just had a big turnover at around the same juncture. And maybe this timeout, maybe this rest puts a little fire in their belly if you're the Lions. You've got your starting 5 back on the floor. You've got Light, James, Harris. Flagg is the only exception, as I don't see Jake Smith out there. But basically most of their starting 5 are out there. If I'm Gloucester, you got to push the pace here. You have to push the pace. Young hangs onto it after a turnover, and Young slow to get up. Now it's Johnston in the lane, fouled and one. And that'll go to Johnston. We're going to have a timeout called. We'll take a quick break. Audubon has the bonus, 60-48 in the fourth quarter. Oh my God, dude. Two minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Audubon has jumped out to a 60-48 lead. Again, for our viewers, we'd like to thank everybody for watching this afternoon. This has been a fun game, and obviously fun when we have people partaking in the comment section as we get a little bit closer to 1,500 subscribers. If you are not subscribed to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we would surely appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like to be notified about future broadcasts, make sure you hit the bell to be notified. Keegan Cohen gets to bounce 3. Can't fault him for trying, and he's going to bring it down to a 10-point game. As it's now 61-51. Goes to Nixon. Eller. Chester again does not take the shot, and a foul. That'll again give Audubon that 6th foul, adding on to that bonus. But again, tomorrow will be New Egypt and Delran, 6:30 p.m. start time. Thursday will be Haddon Heights and Paulsboro in more colonial play. 7 o'clock p.m. is start time. And then 7 o'clock game again on Friday, Overbrook and Pittman on February 9th. We'll be in Collingswood on Saturday for coverage of the Pittman Panthers and the Collingswood Panthers in girls basketball. Nixon drills his second. 62-51, an 11-point game. James cuts to his right with defense by Eller. Nice spin move. Rolls around a couple of guys and a walk. Wow. Wow, I thought there might have been a shooting foul there, but alas, there was not. And Eller's going to get it here. Chucks it to Johnston and a foul. 1:17 to play. Well, what do you know that as soon as we mention, oh yeah, this game's been moving really quickly, we get a bonus and a lot of foul shots. Of course, we are 18 days away from DWB Baseball Opening Day, a doubleheader between Immaculata and Rutgers Camden on February 24th, 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Jake Smith checking in for Gloucester, Caden Harris checking out, and our high school baseball opening day, 55 days away, with the Rancocas Valley Red Devils and the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers. We have another foul. Well, that's the beauty of a live broadcast, is that sometimes there's mistakes made. Gavin, the 5 minutes you had commentating, I think, got to your head. The adrenaline got to your head.
Yeah, I'm too Hollywood.
Here in the Perth quarter. 66-51. Johnston picks up the board. They're just going to let it go. Or at least I thought. Young gets the ball kicked out. And that'll be Audubon ball, 48.5 to play. Again, 55 days until our first baseball broadcast for high school. The Rancocas Valley Red Devils and the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers. 11 a.m. on April Fool's Day, April 1st. Ryan Johnston will go to the line for the Green Wave. This broadcast is brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. Check out their incredible pricing on wholesale kitchen cabinets and countertops. Visit today on 612 Creek Road in Belmar, next to the 42 on-ramp. Second free throw was missed, picked up by Mike Light. Nice pass in coverage to Smith, but the basket does not go, and Johnston stepped out. Well, a 15-point win for Audubon tonight. Maybe a little bit more if Johnston can sink these next three throws. I mean, this is definitely a 180 from what we thought we would see earlier in the game. I mean, obviously, look, as two Audubon guys ourselves, the original thinking was, Audubon's going to run him out of the gym. But after the first quarter, that didn't seem like that would be the case. It just didn't look that way. 9-point game at the end of the first quarter, a 6-point game at the end of the first half. That's not what we had thought would happen. But these guys are playing a little differently, and the mid-game improvements helped Audubon aplenty. Johnston drills to second, 69-51. Couple of subs checking into the game for Gloucester in the final seconds here. Keegan Cohen puts up a three, doesn't get it. Cole Little and Evanald Dice in the game. 12 seconds left. Audubon's going to dribble it out. And that'll do it. 69-51. How about that for Audubon? That's the definition of a turnaround, where they were down early and then they were able to find a way to figure it out. O'Donnell is a mentor in that locker room, and he was able to find a way to get into those players' heads and make sure that they made the proper adjustments to turn it around in the second half. Gloucester falls to 11-11. Audubon now holds full control of the first spot in the Colonial Patriot Division as Audubon goes into their final stretch of the 2024 campaign. For the Green Wave, they've got a couple of tough matchups coming up. They play Lindenwold at home on the 8th. They then go on the road to Cherry Hill West to play in the first round of the Camden County Tournament on February 10th at 11 a.m., and then they close out the regular season versus Haddon Heights on the 13th. Gloucester, their next game's coming up. They've got a couple on the road, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I lost my page for a second, but the first time that these guys played each other, it was a low-scoring gauntlet. Audubon won 36-33. It was a low-scoring game. You know, Gloucester only scored 11 points in the second half of that first game that they played. This game was completely different. It felt like there were two different teams on the floor. And you got to give the player of the game, in my opinion, to Ryan Johnston. He was elite from outside. He was just able to hit every shot in sight, and he gave them the lift that they needed to get themselves out front and made sure that it stayed that way. With Gloucester falling to 11-11, their next task will be versus Collingswood, and then they play the number 2 seed Eastern Vikings on Saturday in the second round of the Camden County Tournament. Then they play Gloucester Catholic and Florence to close out the regular season before they go into the playoffs for South Jersey Group 2. Audubon getting a nice round of applause from the visiting faithful as they pack up and get ready to take a bus ride home. Thank you all for watching tonight. Our next broadcast will be New Egypt and Delran, 6:30 p.m. start time in the BCSL action in the BCSL Liberty Division. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Anthony DePalma, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan. And speaking of Gavin Van Rel, he's here as our producer tonight and also analyst commentator. First time getting a spotlight solo. But I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.